Welcome to Unapologetic Badasses, the online series. My name is Valerie Fuentes. I'm your host, and today I am with Heather Scott. She is the founder of the Helper Hairbox and the owner of Pretty Wigs To You. Thank you, Heather, so much for accepting my invitation. I cannot wait to hear what you're creating because it's so exciting.
Thank you so much, Valerie, for having me on. I'm super excited. Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're enjoying this so far.
Yeah. And yeah, because it is a particular time in history, number one. And but I did wanted to make sure that our community had some kind of support, even with the pandemic, right? Just because of what the quarantine has happened doesn't mean that our hair loss is going to stop or life is going to stop. Like, we also having the same issues, and if anything, we need more support than ever.
Exactly. More people are on Zoom calls right now. They have to be live for work, so their appearance still matters, and they still have to feel beautiful, even if they are going through hair loss. And whether they decide to wear hair or not, their confidence is what matters, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, Heather, I've been so inspired and wanting to talk to you because I know you're creating something magical, which we're going to talk at the end because I know that came from your own inspiration and your own story. So tell us a little bit more about you and your experience with hair loss.
Yeah, so my hair loss actually started when I was just 3 years old. My parents noticed a round bald spot at the top of my head. And because of my age, the doctors decided not to do anything. And eventually that spot grew back in. And then when I was about 8 years old, I was sitting in school and a classmate of mine had said to me, what's happening to your head? Like, you don't have any hair. And I didn't know what they were talking about. And I went to the bathroom and a huge chunk of hair was missing from behind my ear.
Mm-hmm.
And every morning before school, my dad would do my hair. He would usually put my hair like half up in a clip. And I swear it wasn't like that when I left the house. So it's almost like one day my hair just fell out completely on one side of my ear. So I was totally, I'm sorry?
You didn't see when it fell out though. Like you
No, it's almost like it happened instantly. Like, I don't even know how it happened or when it happened. And prior to this, I didn't know that I had alopecia when I was 3 years old because I was only 8 and my parents didn't really say anything to me about it. So after school, I went to my mom crying. I'm like, what is happening? What happened to my hair? And then my mom just had this look like she knew exactly what it was. And she's like, okay, we have to go to a dermatologist. We need to get this figured out. And at that time, I was living, I'm from Canada, and I grew up on a little island. It's in Newfoundland, and a little island off the coast of Newfoundland. It's called Fogo Island. So there's no doctors. It's very remote. So we actually had to go off the island to even talk to a dermatologist. And they confirmed that it was alopecia areata. And they gave me the steroid injections in the scalp, which were extremely painful. And then they also gave me the steroid solution to generate the hair growth. Mm-hmm. And so the following years, from ages 8 to probably 12, I had all kinds of hair loss. My hair would fall out, it would grow back in, it was very patchy. It was just a horrible time growing up like that. I would get made fun of at school. People would call me baldy, things like that. And shortly after, I didn't wear any type of wig. First of all, there was nowhere really to buy a wig where I was from. And second, my parents would always say, like, do you want us to buy you a wig? We'll order you something. And I never wanted anything to do with wearing a wig. I just thought that was like mortifying as a child. I just wanted my own hair to grow back. I just wanted to feel normal. So I didn't wear a wig at all. I had really short hair, like my hair had all fallen out. So I had really patchy short hair. Mm-hmm. And then around the same time, a few years after my hair loss, I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, so another autoimmune disease. So I feel like that time in my life, there were a lot of things going on inside of my body to cause these two endocrine things that were happening. So after that, my hair started to come in a little bit more. I kind of stopped the steroid injections. I found that the pain was too much for me, that it wasn't worth the hair growth at that point.
So you did get some growth from the...
I did get growth from the injections, and I did get some growth from the steroid solution that I would apply to my bald spots. And they would it would grow in, it would fall out in different places. It was kind of like I was always playing catch up with it. And then when I was in my early teens, I decided to start wearing a little bit of helper hair. So instead of wearing a full wig at that point, when I still had some patches, my mom and I we would buy some hair extensions and we would sew them into headbands. And I would wear that with my biological hair just to kind of camouflage it a bit, just so it wasn't so noticeable. And I felt more confident to go to school and be with my friends. And I never ever talked about my alopecia to anybody. It was something that I just kept inside. I didn't know anybody else with alopecia growing up. Back in the days before Facebook or groups or things like that, I didn't really have a support system or anyone to talk to about what I was going through. So I kind of just kept it all on the inside. And eventually I just came to terms with it. I'm like, I'm okay if I don't have hair. I don't want to do the injections anymore because it's too painful. And I just kind of accepted the fact that I probably won't have hair again, and that's fine. And then in high school, I lost all of my hair. So still it hasn't grown back. And that's when I started wearing wigs. I've worn all kinds of different wigs throughout the years, really, really expensive ones, cheaper ones. And that's kind of how it's been. And I've kind of been wearing wigs ever since high school. It's a personal choice, I think, for me to wear hair. Just like some women prefer to wear makeup. I consider that the same thing. Like I like to wear makeup and wear nice clothes and wear nice hair, and that's kind of just who I am. But yeah, I'm confident not wearing my wig as well, but I just prefer to have something on my head. I'm always cold. So even if I'm at home without my wig on, I usually have a hoodie with my hood up because I'm always like freezing. So that's one of the reasons I choose to wear hair. But I don't need to wear hair to make myself feel beautiful. I've come to terms with my alopecia. I'm fine if I doubt my hair is ever going to grow back. So it's been like this for probably 15 years now. So I've kind of come to terms with it. Yeah.
So how do you come to terms with it? Like, what worked for you? What helped you come to terms with it?
I think just a lot of inner work and a lot of just knowing that this is me, this is who I am. Beauty comes from the inside. I just gave myself a lot of positive talks, and there's two ways you can look at your life. You can be like poor me, all this has happened to me. I'm diabetic and I have to take needles and I don't have hair. Or you can just embrace your life and be thankful for what you do have. I mean, it's, my hair's fallen out, but I'm healthy. And I have diabetes, but I can manage it and I can live a full life. So that's kind of how I decided to live my life going forward and embrace it. And I think that's been the key to my success and, having a successful relationship with my husband. I didn't have any hair when I met my husband. And that was like a big fear of mine, I think, like while dating and growing up without hair loss is, will anyone ever love me if I don't have hair? And that's not true. Like, people love you for who you are, not for the hair that's on your head. And so that's kind of like self-talk, knowing your inner beauty, I think that's really gotten me through the harder times in life.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any kind of guidance, or was it like, did you have a coach? Did you have a therapist? Or was it all like through your own soul search?
Yeah, it was pretty much all through my own soul searching. I never saw a therapist as a child. I know my parents always said to me, like, if you want to talk to somebody, like, we'll take you to somebody. But that never really resonated with me. Like, I never really wanted to talk to anybody about it. I kind of just kept it in for a long time until I was ready to be open about it and come out to the world about my alopecia. I only recently just came out to the world about it. Like my coworkers and some of my close friends, they had no idea that that I was completely bald and that I had alopecia. And it's one of those things, like, it's something that happens to you, so it's kind of a personal journey. And some people, like, especially right now, a lot of people are coming out about their hair loss, but not everyone's ready to tell the world about their hair loss. So I've been okay with it for a long time for myself. I just never put it out there to the world. One, because I've been wearing wigs for so long that I kind of felt like I was hiding or that I was fake. But something just happened where I felt the need to help others. And if I didn't come out about my own hair loss, I wouldn't be able to help others, and they wouldn't be able to relate to me unless I was honest about everything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly how I feel, or well, feel and felt at some point. So
Yeah.
I started talking about it also, I mean, kind of recent. I mean, it was last year, but that was my thing. My first thought was what you said was, people are going to think I'm a liar. Because I've been wearing hair for like 5 years. And so that was my first thought. People are going to think I'm a liar. And it's so interesting that we have that thought, because we're not really lying and it's not really their problem. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're not even concerned to begin with, right? Because like then when I shared, a lot of people were like, I never had no idea. Like, if you didn't say anything, I would have never known.
Yeah. And people shouldn't feel bad. Like, people shouldn't feel bad if they don't want to come out about it. Like, it's something that you're going through. It's your own journey, and you'll know when it's right to tell people. Like, you don't have to feel bad about not being ready. You'll know when you're ready to tell the world, or to tell your closest friends or your family. So don't feel bad about it. Like, it's taken me 30 years to 30 years of dealing with alopecia to fully open up to the world about it. And social media had a big role in this, and other, celebrities and people coming out about their alopecia has really helped, I think, a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's, hopefully it will continue this way. So at some point there is nothing to come out about, right? Like it will be something like talking about diabetes, or
Exactly.
I mean, I know I'm very hopeful, but that's my goal. And that's, what you said too, is that for me, personally, what really motivated me was to be able to help other women, because I was already a coach many years before that, but I wasn't helping women going through hair loss.
Yeah.
So I knew that I had to talk about it in order to get to that community, because also, as you know, as part of this community, we tend to hide. So it's hard to find people that are going through this when they're not speaking about it.
Exactly.
So I knew that I had to take the lead myself and step on my own leadership in order to be able to get to this community. So that was a huge motivation for me too.
Exactly. And we have such a great community, especially I find on Instagram, we have a really great community of women with hair loss, even women who haven't fully come out. They have their own account that's dedicated just to their hair loss journey, and they can feel connected to other women without having to have it on their, their normal profile or their normal Facebook profile. So it's a safe place where they can share their experiences with the rest of us. So it's really great that we do have that community.
Yeah, and I also like what you said, that it doesn't have to be a public service announcement, right? Like if you're at a point where you just feel comfortable telling one person, literally one person at a time, can make you feel completely different. And it can
Exactly.
change your relationship with others too. Because for me personally, I also felt that when I wasn't sharing, I was kind of like withholding something, and there was something in between myself and the other person, even though there is nothing bad, right? Like, but I wasn't able to be fully authentic and raw and connected, right? Because I will be thinking, oh my God, are they looking at my hairline? Or can they see this is not real? And all these things, right? So uh, being open about it has really helped me to really connect with people. And I want to say, like, some relationships have even gotten stronger just because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know, also, actually, I was going to comment, when I first found out about you, I am pretty sure I saw that you share your story in a book.
Yes. So I wrote a chapter in a book called She is Magic, which is now an Amazon #1 bestseller. So I'm super excited about that. And it was one of the first times I got to share my story literally with the world. I have a picture in the book with me without hair, and it tells my whole story. So if anyone was ever curious about my life, it's all in the book now. So it's all out there. And the book has um, many women's stories of how they've overcome struggles in their life and how they've risen up and how they're now magic. So it's a really great book. It's really inspiring. And I'm so happy that I was able to have my chapter in there and to make people feel normal about things that they're going through, and especially around hair loss. So that was a big step for me this year. I've never written a book ever. So it was an exciting journey to write a chapter in a book and then have it go to an Amazon #1 best-selling book.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's huge.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I'm just
Thank
so
you.
excited that, a hair loss story made it to a book. That's just so
Yeah.
cool. So thank you.
Yeah.
And so I know somehow you ended up in the alternative hair world with your own store. So how did that
Yes. So I have a background in the corporate world, and I have 3 young kids of my own. I have a 6-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 9-month-old baby. So I've been on maternity leave with my littlest daughter, and in January, I officially launched an online wig boutique called Pretty Wigs To You. And my reason behind that was I was very frustrated with, especially where I live, to find a place that I felt comfortable going to that sold human hair and synthetic wigs that were of good quality
Mhm.
and that weren't ridiculously priced. As you know, some wigs can be super expensive. I've purchased, $4,000 wigs in the past. And my reason for starting Pretty Wigs To You was so that I could help others find wigs that were affordable and that are high quality and that they could feel comfortable wearing as someone with a medical hair loss. So alopecia or cancer, or someone that hair pulls that needs to wear a wig. So that was my biggest reasoning for starting this. And it was kind of, this wasn't part of my plan to open a, a wig boutique. I've been working in the corporate world for so long in human resources that I thought that was what I was meant to do. And then I just kind of had an aha moment. Like I just had this, something changed. The universe was telling me, this is what you need to do. You need to come out about your own hair loss, and you need to be able to be someone who helps others. So really that was how it all started, and everything kind of happened very fast. I thought I was going to slowly like just open this online wig boutique, but not really tell anybody that I had hair loss. And that's not going to work. Right. So I'm like, so I had to just put it all out there, be very open about my life and my hair loss. And I've been very successful with that. And, I'm able to help a lot of parents who have children with hair loss. I feel like a lot of parents come to me with questions, and they're looking for advice and support because I was a child with hair loss. Mm-hmm. So I try and help those parents out as much as I can. And I feel like a lot of ladies can relate to me because I don't have any hair, and I've gone through literally every stage of hair loss that there is, that I'm able to give them tips and advice and support along the way on how to make a wig look the most natural on you, how to transition from thinning hair to a topper, and how to transition from a topper to a wig, making it look the most natural and the most natural looking progression. Mm-hmm. And then also like little tips on how to wear wigs to make it look the most natural, like wearing it with a headband or wearing it with clips or things like that. So that's kind of my journey there with Pretty Wigs To You. And I do have an in-home salon here just north of Toronto, but I would say 95% of my business is done online. But for anybody local, they're welcome to come here, or I also travel to hospitals and to people's homes to fit them as well.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely great service. I
Thank you.
That's probably a lot of people's struggle, is like not knowing what to buy because they don't even know how to measure their head, or like, how does it work? Like, did I take the right measures? That's
Exactly.
incredible.
Yeah. And with COVID, I've had to change things up a bit. So my clients who are local, sometimes I will put a bunch of wigs in a box and I'll send it to their home so they can try them on in their own home. Or I'll do a virtual consultation and I'll assess their hair loss over a Zoom call and show them how to measure their head for the perfect fit. And then sometimes I'll send wigs to people if they really don't know what style they want or color they want. Then I'll send a box with a few different wigs to them so they can try on, and then we can order one from there. So I've had to do some adjustments with everything going on in the world, but everything seems to work out. So
yeah,
that's great.
amazing.
Yeah.
And so now you have a new product line that's going to launch pretty soon.
Yes. Yes.
A little bit more.
So it's called the Helper Hair Box, and it is a subscription box for both women and children with hair loss. And my reasoning, or the way this got started, was I'd have a lot of parents reach out to me, and some of them would want a wig for their child, but they couldn't afford it. And because children hold such a soft spot in my heart, I would personally donate wigs to children whenever I could. And I would include little items inside the box for the children. So little inspirational messages and little gifts along with the wig, just as a little something to cheer them up, a little pick me up, a little boost in their confidence. And that's really when I realized there's nothing really out there for women with hair loss or children with hair loss. And as a child, going through losing my hair, if I had something that was just for me, like I think that would have made a huge difference growing up. Like if I had, a box come to my house filled with specially selected items just for somebody else with hair loss, I think that would have made a world of a difference. So I got to thinking, okay, what can I do? So I designed a women's box and a children's box. And the children's boxes are filled with, so every box has a book, so an inspirational book. Every box is filled with something like a headscarf or a hat, something that they can wear to protect their scalp. we have to make sure that if we go without any type of hair, that our scalp doesn't burn, especially in the summertime. So having some kind of head wrap or a hat in there. And then fun accessories, fun motivational items for them. It might be like cute socks with something that says fearless on them, or a nice backpack that says be brave. Just things to remind them to be confident and to be beautiful, and to remind them that they are beautiful with or without hair.
Mm-hmm.
And then the women's boxes are catered to each woman. So some of us decide to wear hair, some of us wear helper hair, some of us don't, some of us rock the bald look. So each box is catered to that woman, whether they're going through chemo or they have alopecia. They'll get to fill out a survey, and that way we will be able to fill the boxes to exactly their needs. So if they wear hair and they're blonde, then that would go in their profile. If they don't wear any hair at all, then that would go in their profile as well. Their favorite colors are taken into consideration. And again, the women's boxes will have an inspirational book. So many of the women in our hair loss community have written amazing books. They're so inspirational. So I've reached out to a lot of those ladies, and a book will be going in those boxes, in each box. And same thing, there's going to be makeup and accessories and fun things that women may have never tried before. There's certain things like there's something that John Renault sells that's called the hat magic. So it's a half wig that you wear underneath a hat, or cute little things that they may have never tried that they'll get to try inside the box.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little bit about the box. And then my mission behind the box is, for every 6 boxes that are sold, I'm going to be donating a children's box to a child with hair loss. And for every 12 boxes sold, I'll be donating a wig to a child. So that's kind of my giving back to our hair loss community and the children that are affected by hair loss, whether it's cancer, alopecia, or some other form of hair loss. I'll be working with hospitals, and I'll be working with parents. There'll be a sign up link on my website where parents can apply for a box or a wig for their child.
Perfect. I love that. So you haven't launched yet, right?
No, to be able to. Yeah, so it's actually getting launched the 3rd week in June. It's getting launched on Kickstarter. And our reason for putting it on Kickstarter is so the word gets out there to parents and other women who may not have ever heard of this. So we're putting it out to Kickstarter. People have the option to pre-buy the boxes if they would like. If you've never heard of Kickstarter before, I know some people have never heard of it. Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform. So the way it works is, if you like the idea behind the helper hair box and you want to support it or fund this project, there's different pledges. So you can pledge an amount and you get a reward in return. So maybe you're a woman with hair loss and you think this is a great mission and you'd like to pledge an amount, and in return you would get a hair box sent to your house. Or maybe you don't have hair loss whatsoever and you just love the idea, but you would love to do a pledge. There'll be things like a signed copy of my book. So for example, a $30 pledge, then you would get a signed copy of the book. And the way Kickstarter works is, if we don't reach our fundraising goal, then you don't get charged at all. So that's kind of how Kickstarter works. I've been a part of many Kickstarter campaigns in the past. I've backed them. So I know how great of a thing it is for someone's idea to get put out there. And if you like the idea and you support it, you can pledge an amount and then you get something back in return. And the boxes will be discounted as well. If you want to, there's 1 month or 6 month worth of boxes, then there'll be a discounted amount on Kickstarter. And again, it's going to be the 3rd week in June that's being launched on Kickstarter. So right now I'm just taking email addresses. If anyone's interested, they can follow along with the journey and go from there.
Awesome. And then, so there is a website where they can leave their email address. So you let them know when it comes
That's
out.
right. And then after it launches on Kickstarter, that same website will turn into the Help Her Hair Box site where they can, fill out the survey and things like that. And that's where they can purchase the boxes after it leaves Kickstarter. Kickstarter is kind of like the pre-launch where you can pre-order the boxes and get a discounted rate.
And so how long does a project stay on Kickstarter?
So we're putting it on there for 30 days. You have the choice to how long you would like your project to stay on there. We're going to do ours for 30 days.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So we can expect to have it on Kickstarter for 30 days. And then after that, people can order.
That's right.
Awesome. All right. So summertime, you know where to go.
Yes.
What's your website, Heather?
So it's helperhairbox.com.
Okay.
For the boxes. Yeah.
And for the store?
Oh, and for the wig boutique, it's prettywigstoyou.com.
Okay, perfect. So just the name of the box and the name of your boutique.
Yeah. Simple.
I'm so in love with your project. I just think it's brilliant, really, the subscription concept.
Thank you.
I've seen it work with so many things, and this is something that, for us is so needed, like all the accessories. And like you said, there's a lot of things. I mean, I've been wearing hair for 5 years, but every time, like, I swear almost weekly, I see somebody coming up with some kind of wrap or some kind of something different that I've never seen before. So I think that's such a good idea.
Exactly. And for my wig boutique, I exclusively sell Jon Renau wigs. I don't sell anything else. Mm-hmm. And they have agreed to partner with me for the boxes. So the boxes will include Jon Renau items. So some hair and their accessories and things like that. So I'm super excited to be partnering with Jon Renau. They are a fantastic company, and that's all I wear. So I really love them, and I'm super happy that they've decided to be on board with the boxes and work with me.
Yeah. And you're shipping where?
So the free shipping to Canada and the US. I will be offering overseas shipping, but there will be a $10 shipping fee to send it overseas. But the boxes can be purchased anywhere.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think we're getting close to the end of our time together, but I want to know if there's one thing that you can leave us with to the women that are going through medical hair loss right now. What would that be?
I mean, stay true to yourself. Know that you're beautiful with or without hair. Hair does not define who you are. Confidence is the most beautiful thing there is. And I mean, I know it's hard if you have spots and your hair is falling out and it's hard to look in the mirror. It gets better. It gets easier. You'll eventually learn to accept your hair for what it is, and just remember that you're beautiful from the inside out, and that there's a huge community here. We're all here to support you. There's amazing women in this hair loss community, and we will lift you up and we'll let you rise, and just reach out to any of us, and we'd be happy to help you.
Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah.
I want to say to everyone, definitely lean into the community, because that community will support you.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Heather, so much again. And I'll see you guys on our next interview.
Yes, sounds good.